Hey everybody, Marcus C. Williams here. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. Tonight we have a wild roller coaster of all types of mystery and intrigue to talk about this evening. There have been new occurrences that have come up in the bomber in Las Vegas situation. There have been a whole bunch of things that have happened today, including we've got a House vote that just happened today, and now we have a Speaker of the House. And we'll talk about all of these things and a couple of other things. We're going to dive right into it. So now you guys know how that bomber in Vegas and the guy in New Orleans, they were all some sort of actual military individuals. Well, yeah, they all were military background. It's very interesting what's going on there. We even saw that the guy that was attempted to assassinate the president had military background, and actually he also served in Afghanistan as a mercenary, so that was interesting. But it's interesting that this gentleman that was in Texas, he was known to his family as a very staunch patriot. He loved his country. He even liked Trump. So it's interesting that all of a sudden he would just commit some sort of a crazy act like this all of a sudden. If you guys are following and watching right now, please hit share, please hearts, thumbs up wherever you are, and definitely like and follow, but share this to get it out to more people. The more people that see, the better. So share to your page, to your groups, to your friends, wherever. Let's dig into this. So this guy that was the alleged bomber, to recap briefly, the car that blew up, when it blew up, had a guy inside that is the alleged bomber. The alleged bomber had a hole in his head from a gunshot wound, which allegedly he shot himself in the head before the vehicle blew up. Now, I don't know about you, but if that doesn't smell to you, that sounds like insanity, right? Like, who's shooting themselves in the head before they blow it up, right? Like, that's interesting. So now we've got a video. Thank you to the Sean Ryan show, and courtesy of that, I'm going to play this video, and you guys are going to be very amazed. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to dig into some other stuff, and then we're going to talk about this new information that just magically came from the sheriff's department in Las Vegas afterward. Check this out. It's a little bit of a long clip. We'll let you go through it. It's going to be about 4 to 5 minutes. And just bear with us because it's very, very interesting. Oh, I see. I'll pop up your comment. If you drop a comment, I'll pop up your comment. I see you there, Sawyer. Yeah, the FBI knew this guy. It's a lot going on. Check this video out while we.
Do you want to read the email?
Yep. So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, "In case I do not make it to my decision point or on to the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones," he puts that in quotes, he says drones, "is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operation Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast." I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You fucking serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice and he goes, you said that word VBID. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a VBID, for your audience who has not been in the GWOT for the last 20 years, a VBID is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw at Trump Tower. So, backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff, and this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent, redacted, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with, redacted, IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted, can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP, USAP access.
What is USAP? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But I checked his credentials on LinkedIn. So that was the first thing I did. I went to his LinkedIn page. First thing I noticed was all of his bona fides were in place. He has all the UAS training from USASOC and everything else. And so I said, okay, at least the guy knows what he's talking about with drones. That was a very rough dig into the guy. But my issue was.
So, as you heard, that is an email that was forwarded by the guy who is the alleged person that blew up the bomb in front of Trump Tower. Let's dig into that. Please share, hit the heart buttons, and hit a thumbs up. Even if you just drop a comment, that's an emoji, do that too. And if you look at the little ticker down there, you can see different ways to donate. There's also ways to donate on the side of the screen, even if it's like $5, $10, or $15. But as we have this serious conversation about this guy who allegedly performed this attack, his family identified him as being a very patriotic guy that cares about his country. What we just saw in that video shows that he's a very patriotic guy that cares about his country. You know, we'll give or take on the, I guess, what would you call them? I don't know. Whether you want to call, what do they call them? Like gravitronic flying things or whatever. Essentially, aircraft that are able to be flown by using the force of gravity type situations. Like you might consider them to be like anti-gravity. So I don't know if that's way out or whatever the case is. You know, everybody loves something good in sci-fi, and we do know that the government is all types of shady and has all types of hidden things in their closet that they don't tell us about. He said that China has them and the US has them, and that's what's been up with those drones, which makes you question why the Fed said don't shoot them down. That's always been a question. But if that is something that is coming from China, or if that is us regardless, it seems that right now at this point, whoever is doing it, it was a scare tactic. But he also said that he worked in other types of operations, and he actually had knowledge of other things that the government was doing that wasn't right, and what was going on didn't sit well with him. And it's very clear that something terrified this man to the point where he was being followed by the FBI, the point where he was being followed by people in the military. His phone was tapped. They were trying to follow him, and he was trying to escape to Mexico. So this is interesting. So a guy that's trying to escape to Mexico is gonna go to Vegas and blow himself up. But first, remember, before he blew himself up, he shot himself in the head. You guys, right? Like it's insane. The guy that was being chased by the feds and the military shot himself in the head and then blew up the car that he was in. This is what they're feeding us. I don't know what to tell you, but it just doesn't sound right. It's very clear that there is something amiss here, right? And I wonder, and okay, you guys, now I'm going to go off on a little bit of a speculation or a thought process here. Go with me, right? I'm very much into warfare. I'm very much into learning about espionage and military tactics and all of that. I love it. I love it all. Okay. It's very interesting to me. And I love my country more than anything. Okay. But I've always wondered, like some of these terrorists, like the guy that they shot up in the car from that allegedly crashed that thing, that ISIS flag looked a little bit fishy to me, bro. Like, go look at the pictures. I did one in the video last night. I put the picture up of it. That ISIS flag looked fishy. Now, I don't read squiggly letters, okay? I don't read that. So somebody else might, but it looked like it wasn't quite right, like the actual ISIS flag. Like somebody had done it and done it in a hurry. So the whole thing seems a little bit suspicious and a lot of bit suspect, okay? But they don't want us to have these conversations. It seems as though they're concocting a very specific narrative and a very specific script here. But regardless of what is being done, one thing we can all agree on is that they are using it to cultivate a mindset of fear in the United States of America right now. And I'm telling you, they're up to something much bigger. I can't put my finger on it, but let's pray for the inauguration and the rally the day before. If you like what we're talking about, please hit share, hit those heart buttons. If you drop a comment, I will put your comment up on screen. And definitely share this out to get it out to more people. But the more comments you do, the better it kicks the algorithm. And if you look below in the ticker, there's different ways to donate. You can do Cash App, $MW Real, the digit 1. That's $MW Real, the number 1. Or you can do givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. Or you can do PayPal or Venmo, and that's at Marcus C. Williams. So as we continue this serious conversation, I want you to look at this video, and we'll get back to this. But look at this video that just got released by the Sheriff's Department. Check this out, because the thing about this is, you watch that video that we just showed. Now watch the actual.
But with that, sure. Just as a preview for as we get information, we're trying to be as transparent as possible. There were a couple pieces of content we thought were important to share for now. One is in the note application. He seemed to have 2 letters. One letter in particular, as you can see here, this is an excerpt from that letter. He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. He goes on to explain a variety of other grievances and issues, some political, some personal, a variety of other things, which we will do our best to release very quickly here. But then there's a second letter where there's some more excerpts. This one seems to be dated after the fact in that notes application. And in there, you can read a couple of the excerpts. We are the United States of America, the best country, people to ever exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. I'd like to just also expand on that and understand that these are just excerpts in there. He does offer additional information that is varying on the spectrum in terms of political grievances, issues about the conflicts elsewhere, not here, domestic issues, societal issues, a variety of other things, including personal challenges as well. We are intending to release those initial letters so people can understand the best they can what the person's thought process was at one point in time. However, please understand there is still a lot more content to go through, and that may change. There may be a lot more information that we recover that explains either more or shows a change in mindset at different times.
they playing in our face, right? Like they playing in our face hard. You mean to tell me, I'm just going to lay out what they told us, right? Firstly, they told us the body was burned beyond recognition, so they couldn't identify it via the DNA, but they could identify it via tattoos. The body was burned so bad you couldn't recover any DNA, but you could read the tattoos. Okay, that's the number one thing they told us. Two, this military guy who was used to doing special operations and was a Green Beret with explosive knowledge used this improvised explosion to try to blow something up that didn't blow anything up and had like no real explosive nature to it outside of a very confined small area. That doesn't make very much sense. Okay, but these are just the facts that we know. Let's continue to line them up. They found a passport, they found another ID, and they found his military ID card. But his body was burned too bad beyond recognition, but they found these paper documents. He was burned so bad, their words, not mine, that they could not identify him via DNA testing. But they found these paper documents. Okay. Then, now, they're saying that there were also these letters. I don't know, bro. I don't know. You know, it just seems like if he was burnt beyond recognition, now there's letters. You didn't tell us about letters at first. You didn't say that there were other things that were found in the car. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Who are you playing with? Who are you trying to fool? What is this that you're trying to sell us? Because it seems like it's a gigantic false bill of goods, and you're trying to manipulate the people and limit the conceptual knowledge of what they have, because there's other information coming out that seems like it would disprove what you've been trying to drive us to begin with. So again, I'll tell you, hit the share button, hit the hearts, hit the likes. Get this out to more people. It's important. The more you share, the more people see, the more comments you put. Drop some comments, even if it's just an emoji, it all helps. And if you'd like to donate, there's donate links in the ticker down below. You can see how to donate, and on the side of the screen, there's different ways. But yeah, you guys, that narrative sounds weird, right? Like very, very unusual. Like, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to be like, man, there's some holes there. Something don't add up. Then the sheriff comes out and says, oh, well, we're sharing excerpts with you. So you're curating carefully the information that you let out to the public, which I guarantee you they never let out the whole letters, because I bet you there aren't even any whole letters right now, which is a whole nother conversation. Speculation, okay? But that's a whole nother conversation. I bet you there ain't even no actual letters yet. And they're just giving us curated pieces of information. Okay, so now remember also, the FBI is the one behind this thing, but we're seeing the sheriff. Make it make sense. We need to understand more. So that's very interesting. But something doesn't seem right. A military guy that was a Green Beret, that's well trained in explosives, blew up himself to try to make a message to say that our country is under, I guess, from what the sheriff put out, again, what the sheriff put out, from people that would do the American citizens harm that are in power. I don't know. Sounds about right. You know, like, I think most people would agree with that statement. But he did it because he said, oh, well, it's so serious. I got to do something very serious to catch your attention. Well, because the American people are only used to getting attention to spectacles. That's what he said, allegedly. Allegedly. I don't even believe that at all. But allegedly, that's what he said in the note from the sheriff. But we saw the email that he sent previously saying that the feds are after him, saying that he's trying to escape to Mexico because he knows too much about what's going on, about the so-called drones, which according to him weren't actually drones. They're gravitic propulsion system engine systems, which is another separate concerning thing. And that he's also got other information in regards to war crimes that were done in Afghanistan. And he said, I don't know why they after me. I don't know if it's this or I don't know if it's that, but clearly I know too much. And anybody that knows how the government operates is if he's got two things that are completely separate that he knows too much about, that's too much for the government. You know, the government doesn't like to leave loose ends. So he was trying to flee to Mexico. And he said in the email that he had a vehicle-borne improvised explosive in the car, and that's why the feds wouldn't actually try to engage him directly, because they knew that. Now, somehow the man ended up with a hole in his head and the truck blowing up in Vegas when he was running to Mexico. Let me see. Mexico, Vegas, those don't seem to be the same directions. You know what I'm saying? That something seems very off and very fishy there, you know. But we'll see as more information comes out. What is actually going on? Where is the truth? Where is the fiction? And it'll be up to you, the American people, to parse through all of the information, because we know that the government will not tell us the truth, even though they try to play in our face when we have documented programs and documented information. Just in the last couple of years, remember? They said, oh, well, the government was colluding with Facebook and Twitter and and YouTube to silence people and to push narratives and stuff like this. This is the stuff that we know from the last couple of years, you guys, right? But we can go back further than just the last couple of years, but this is just recent memory. We know that when Trump was running, they talked about, oh, they had all of these concocted narratives. Oh, well, these 53 agents or whatever it was, former intelligence agencies say that he's no good and he colluded with Russia. And then you got Robert Mueller, who people loved. Everybody loved him. The Democrats loved him. The Republicans loved him. He was fantastic, right? That's what they told us before he got in. He got in and did the investigation. He did the investigation. He said, I didn't find a daggone thing, y'all. I didn't find a thing, except I found many people that didn't do their job the way that they were supposed to, that seem to have led this whole process and this investigation very faultily. And nobody liked that. The Democrats didn't like that. But also the FBI didn't like that because he was showing that they was doing some shady stuff. I don't know, you guys. Like, this is known stuff that we've seen actually happen. Share this out. Definitely hit the hearts. Drop some comments below. I'll do my best to pop up your comments on the screen. Okay? This is serious. Then we go back and we look at things like programs that we know, like Operation Mockingbird with the CIA, where they fed the media information that they wanted to. We know that the government has continuously fed the media information that they want to on many different events and many different occasions, and they've even silenced the media on many different events and many different occasions. These are things that we actually know and can prove exist. But there are still those who are in power that'll tell you it's not happening. And I got a video of one of these cats right now. I'd like to call them something else, but we are online. And I'm not going to use those type of languages because I know I love y'all.
Access to everything TikTok has, which means data on all Americans. And with data and with access to your, app that you're addicted to, you can vastly manipulate an entire population, which the Chinese have done already.
Are you worried that our intelligence agencies are doing the same thing domestically?
Am I worried that? I know that they're not.
They're not manipulating Americans? They're not controlling the flow of information?
Yeah, did you have some evidence otherwise that you'd like to share?
I mean,
okay.
Before
any serious questions?
So ByteDance were to say
Congressman, you asked for an example of the U.S. intelligence agencies meddling in our information. What about before the 2020 election when 50 members came out and said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation? Does that count?
No, because they were retired.
They were retired, but the FBI had the laptop for over a year.
There's nothing even close to a TikTok.
He's right. It's nothing even close to what TikTok is. However, TikTok is a massive surveillance operation to data collect everything that they can on you. But it seems that oddly, the government continues to expand the surveillance on the people so that they can track you 24/7, every day of the week, all the time. They've got new cameras going up everywhere. They got all types of stuff going on. And what we got here, Soya says, the gaslighting of the government is embarrassing. That is a whole fact. It's a serious, serious problem. Because you mean to tell me that Dan Crenshaw, okay, don't get me started on Dan Crenshaw. This show ain't about Dan Crenshaw. But this show is about how that is our government elected official, and he out here spitting in the eye of the public, lying straight to you. The government isn't participating with the media to collude, to push any narratives on the people or to manipulate the people. Really? What country does that man live in? Clearly not America. Okay, not saying nothing dumb like that. Okay, this is a serious problem because it shows exactly how the government will try to mislead you, even people that are in office. Like this is that was just the stupidest thing that I have ever heard by any elected official said. You know, like let me rephrase that. That was the most moronic, purposefully misleading statement that I have heard. Right? That's a serious problem. Hit like, hit share, drop some comments, and we'll pop them up on the screen as much as we can. And if you'd like to donate, hit the donation. You can see it in the ticker below. You can do $MW Real 1 on Cash App. That's $MW Real, the digit 1. Or you can do PayPal and Venmo. You can do at Marcus C. Williams on there. We also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams if you'd like to donate. Please donate $5, $10, $15, whatever you can, more if you can. It helps us do more production of more videos and get more information out to more people in more places. So as we have this serious conversation about the government manipulating the thought patterns and the direction that people are going, the more data that the government has on you, the easier you are to predict. That's the important part. The more data the government has on you, the easier you are to predict. And if they can predict what you're going to do, then they can manipulate you ever more so easily. They can manipulate you so good that you would think that it is the hand of God that is maneuvering you around with, how do you say it? Fingerspitzengefühl, right? A fingertip touch. It's a war term, World War II, right? Like, so this is very, very serious. What the government is doing to the American people is completely unsettling, and nobody should be okay with it. If you're watching this, please share this video out. And I'm going to keep speaking as long as I can, as loudly as I can, about what's going on in our country, because I love my country, and I'm very concerned. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, and I'm sure many of you feel like this, at some point, they might start coming for people. We've seen that they've come for people before, and we see that the direction of our country going is pretty sore. We've gotten a little respite with the new election coming up, but we don't even know if there's going to be an attack during the election. I mean, during the inauguration or during the actual, what do they got, a rally the night before? We don't know. And the government keeps doing more and more stuff to say, oh, well, be afraid, be very afraid. I'm telling you guys, the government is up to no good. I'm not able to put my finger on it because I don't got all the information all together, but they're up to no good. The elites are up to no good. They're doing everything that they can. And remember, everything that the government does is about power, control, and money. Okay? So check this out. This is a Washington, D.C. What is her name? Oh my goodness. Oh, do we not have that video? Yeah, we got it. This is Washington, D.C. Superintendent of the Police.
As of this moment, there are no credible known threats here in the District of Columbia, but out of an abundance of caution, I have heightened our security postures across the city in light of the recent events. Members of the community will notice an increased presence of police officers throughout the district. I want to assure our community that whenever a significant event occurs, such as what happened on New Year's Day, we closely monitor the incident and immediately began engaging with intelligence communities, and we take an additional step to reevaluate our security posture to ensure the safety of our residents, businesses, as well as our visitors. And now looking ahead to Monday, January 6th, the counting and certification of the electoral votes at the United States Capitol has been designated as a national special security event that is led by the United States Secret Service. This event brings together coordination and participation from all levels of government, as well as from our local, state, and federal public safety partners. To our residents and businesses, most of the impact of this event will be felt around the U.S. Capitol on Monday. This will also include road closures, which Capitol Police will provide more details shortly during this conference. And following the proceedings at the U.S. Capitol on Monday, January 6th, the state funeral events to honor former President Carter will be held here in Washington, D.C. between Tuesday, January 7th and Thursday, January 9th. President Carter's state funeral also has been designated as an NSSE, and the United States Secret Service is the lead law enforcement agency for this event. The public will have an opportunity to pay their final respects during a ceremony at the Naval Memorial and a procession to the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday, which will be followed by the former president lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda on Tuesday evening and Wednesday. And on Thursday, former President Carter's funeral service will be held at the Washington National Cathedral. At this
Now, you heard what she just said. Heightened security for January 6th, because that's when they're going to certify everything. Now, there's been people online saying all types of insane stuff, okay? Like what we're seeing right now being said online is like, if you guys remember QAnon during the whole presidential election in 2016, and I was like, everybody, that is a government psyop. Do not listen to QAnon. That is a government psyop. The same type of situation is being pushed to the Democrats this time. So there was like QAnon, and now this is like Demonon or whatever the nonsense is. Like they're making up all of this stuff and saying, oh, Kamala's coming back. She's going to be president. All of this nonsense, all of this nonsense, all of that nonsense, and this, that, and the third, da, 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 da. These people, a lot of them, we've already seen these crazy far left people do all types of extreme type of acts all throughout our country. And it's very serious. It's very, very serious. And we need to be understanding that a lot of these people, we've seen them break down online and crying and saying, I'm going to get rid of everybody. Not get rid of, they were saying the K word. I'm not going to say it like that because they might try to take my thing off. But they're saying, I'm going to get rid of all of the people that voted for Trump. Oh, I'm going to hurt a lot of people that did all of the stuff that voted for Trump. And all of this and all of that. We've seen attacks on Trump supporters and all types of stuff across our nation. So if these people really, many of them are on medication, this is very true. They've actually got statistics on this, which says that liberals are more likely to be on medication and have had, specifically liberal white women, are more likely to be on medication and have had mental issues. And white men are the next closest behind them that are liberals. So this is a very concerning factor, especially as passionate as many of these people are. I guess I'm using a very nice word to explain it. Check out this lady. I don't have her other video that she did the other day, but this one's good enough. Check out this lady right here. Let's see.
Okay, holy shit. Am I being...
Before we do this video, make sure that you hit share. Share, share, share. I see some hearts. I see some love. Thank you for all that. Drop a comment. We'll try to pop your comments up as they come in. But definitely share this out and get this out to more people. That's how we spread the message. That's how we get the conversation going, because we need to be having these important conversations. Catch this crazy lady.
Okay, holy shit. Am I being tested right now by my higher self? Something is happening, because seriously, I just had a discussion with my husband, and you know, we're talking about the video I posted, which I did not expect to garner so many views, but what I said was my visions about, you know, the contest and what could possibly happen. And you know, for some reason, you know, I'm feeling very strongly about what I said, and I think because I'm feeling, the feeling is growing stronger about, you know, what's happening with this and how it'll end up. My husband decided to talk about what intuition is. You know, he's very logic-minded, so though he does not care for the word intuition, and we just had this whole discussion about psychology and all that jazz. I understand. But anyway, he was like, you know, you guys are basically, we are delusional because we believe things will change. Something will shift. And I you know, after having a discussion, I'm telling him, you know what? This is not something we can just, we don't have to talk about this hypothetically. We just literally just wait and see what happens. And then You can say I told you so for being delusional, but until then, I don't understand why I'm getting crap, because I believe firmly in everything that I witnessed throughout these months and making connections that this does not feel right. It's not just about a feeling. No, these feelings are based on facts and information, evidence. You know, yes, they may not have come to light, but we know something is happening behind the scenes, do we not? I mean, this is insane. Seriously, wait until it's over, you know, until everything's been solidified. Whoever is, you know, plopped into the White House, then you can say, you were wrong. But until then, what is the point? Just wait. God. Sorry, I'm just, frustrated. Okay, but you know what? Still calm.
Does she seem calm to you guys? That did not seem like a calm individual. No calm individual I've ever met seems like that. So this lady, clearly delusional. Her husband said she's delusional, Ethan. And we know that that is a threat of death of a husband if you call your wife delusional. But like she said, is this insane? Yes, ma'am, it is insane. It is absolutely insane. Now, do I trust my government? Do I trust the people in Congress? Do I think that they would try some real shady shiftless stuff to really try to usurp our next presidential candidate? Absolutely. Absolutely, I think that that would happen. But she's on some whacked out QAnon type nonsense for the Democrats. And we saw this. If you're a conservative or Republican, we saw this already. We saw that play out in the last election in 2020 with QAnon. So this is exactly the same type of playbook where they're trying to give these people hope and all of this nonsense. And I don't see that happening. Trump being assassinated, maybe. You know, other stuff going crazy, maybe. Kamala getting back in the White House, probably not. And especially unlikely after what Hakeem Jeffries said today. And I'm not a Hakeem Jeffries fan, and I got some videos of him for today. And we'll start off with this video, and then we'll show you another clip. But make sure that you share this out, get this out to more people so more people can join in the conversation. Hit some hearts, hit some shares. Make sure you drop some comments, even if it's just some emojis or a thumbs up or smiley face or whatever in the comments. Everyone helps. Check this out.
2 months ago, the American people elected Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America. Thank you for that very generous applause. It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You see, one should love America. One should love America when you win and when you lose. That's the patriotic thing to do, and that's the America that House Democrats will fight hard to preserve because we love this.
So you heard what Hakeem Jeffries said right there. He's the leader of the Democrats in the House, okay? I don't like that man worth a lick of spit, okay? So that tells you where I stand on him. But it also shows with what he said that the Democrats say, well, Trump actually did win. But you've got these crazy people out there like that lady that we just showed the video of, who is swearing up and down, oh, they're going to do something so that Kamala can get in and be president, and they're not going to let Trump in, and this and the third. Will they try to assassinate Trump again? Like I said, it's a very strong likelihood. Okay, are they up to no good? It's a very strong likelihood, and I bet they're up to no good. Are they going to try to replace him with Kamala? I do not believe that, no. And these people that are saying and pushing these things, they are delusional. And they are like the QAnon people. They're the Demonon people is what they are. Demonon kind of sounds like demon. Interesting. Anyway, so check out these other crazy cuckoos. Okay, and now remember what the superintendent of the police said in DC a couple of minutes ago. They are putting up extra security precautions for January 6th and the certification and all of this and all of that. And that's only in 3 more days. So we'll see what happens, bro. I am telling you, watching the FBI release that video of the bomber from 4 years ago that they never released any video of, never showed anything about, never asked where he went, never asked the public for help. All of a sudden, they're putting that out right now. Y'all, be vigilant, because the government's up to shenanigans, and they ain't up to no good, and they don't have your best interests at heart. But now, look at these other people out there. Check these people out.
Lock him up! 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 Lock him up!
We've all gathered here today for the same reason, to demand that Congress uphold the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, specifically Section 3, that states that an insurrectionist cannot be president. And if you have any doubt that this guy is an insurrectionist, you should come out of the cave that you live in and get a supercomputer in your pocket like we all have, because all the information's out there and it's undeniable. Please hear me out, Democrats. Please stop blaming each other and saying we went too far left, or we should have done this, or we gotta be Joe Rogan, and no, you don't. We lost, and I'm using air quotes because I don't believe it. That's up to you if you do. We lost the election because a foreign adversary spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on bot farms to bombard half the country with Russian disinformation, and they beat it into their heads to the point that Americans started to parrot it, from Joe Rogan to Tim Pool. So I'm asking Democrats, stop blaming your fellow Americans and start blaming Russia. Start blaming the people within our own government that are working for and with Russia.
Spicy reference on the side of it.
Say what?
I was joking. I said it's a spicy reference on the
I know. Yeah, they're gonna take me away for being part of a terrorist ideology. But I mean, hey, I like the message.
What is your message to Congress here?
My message is to deny fascism, defend democracy, and oppose oligarchs. Congress, do your duty, uphold the 14th.
Those people are retarded. I do not take away from the statement. I stand on business when I said that. They're retarded. Something is mentally wrong with those people, okay? Like the guy said, what are they going to lock him up for being a terrorist? You know, this is a very serious situation, because people actually believe this and they think these crazy things. And there's 2 different sections of them. I showed you the first video with that lady who thinks that there's some subversive deep state plot against Trump, and they're going to put Harris in because she loves Harris so much, and she's so enthusiastic about that. And her husband told her that she's crazy batshit. Excuse my language, but that she's out of her mind. And then you got these people talking about, oh, well, Trump violated the 14th Amendment, whatever the case is, because he's an insurrectionist. Let me put something out to you guys very clearly. But before we do that, hit the share button, hit the hearts, drop your comments. I will put your comments up, okay? And if you guys could, please donate, whether it's $5, $10, $15, whatever. There's a donation thing in the bottom. You can see it in the ticker. Cash App. $MW Real, the number 1. That's $MW Real 1. Okay, or you could do Venmo, PayPal. It's at Marcus C. Williams. Or we've also got givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. Drop a donation. But these crazy people are out of their mind, and they really very much so believe it. Now, if we talk about the 14th Amendment and we talk about insurrection, nobody from January 6, 2020, okay, were charged with insurrection. Not one person. A whole bunch of other crazy charges for absolutely nothing for most of them. And then the one guy, what was the guy? The Spanish guy that was the head of the Proud Boys. If you remember his name, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Drop it in the comments. But they charged him, and they picked him up like a week before January 6th even happened. So that's crazy to me, which is a whole nother separate conversation. But the 14th Amendment, when they're talking about, oh, well, he's an insurrectionist. How? Right? Like, in an insurrection, you have to overthrow the government, right? Okay. But he's the president. Was he going to overthrow himself? How does that work? How could he possibly be an insurrectionist if he was actually the president at that time? You can't. That's not how things work. Like in any reality. Like he was the commander in chief at the time of the United States military, every single branch, and could have done Lord knows whatever he felt like and commanded them whatever he felt like because he's the commander in chief of the military. Did he do that? No. Okay. So now you're talking about, oh, well, he's an insurrectionist. Where? Why? Because he felt like they should not certify the election because they needed to go back and look at the votes and stuff like that. Okay. But aren't these people that are talking about him being an insurrectionist that are talking about denying the certification of the votes, even though we just saw Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, say that, yes, he actually won. He really did win. So you would go against the actual votes to not certify the election? Is that not an insurrection? Like, how are we defining it and how does it work one way and not the other or whatever the case is? But at the end of the day, you can't overthrow the government if you're actually in charge of the government. And anybody that says that is retarded. End of story. Please share, please like. We need to have this conversation and get the message out there wider because everybody needs to be talking about important things that really do matter. Drop a comment, hit the heart, even if it's just a smiley face. In the comments, I will pop you up on screen. And let's talk about the speaker's vote. Today, we had a vote for the Speaker of the House. And people were like, we don't like Mike Johnson because he is not being very conservative. I got to admit, as a person who is a stalwart Republican that believes in foundational Republican values, I do not believe that he has been doing what is actually necessary or standing on business. I did not like the CR bill. I do not like the fact that he raised the debt ceiling. I do not like the fact that he did not break up the spending bill. I don't like a lot of the stuff that he's been doing, and I can name more things, but I don't want to drag that on. So it's been very concerning to me, his behavior as speaker. But they're saying, oh, well, now because there are so many Republicans, now he's going to be different. Now he's going to be different. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Why don't I believe it? Because I believe you based on the character that you've shown me already. And it's shown me that if they face any challenges, he's going to fold, or he's easily maneuvered, or he'll be willing to bend to the whim of whomever. That's what I've seen in him. And we've seen his voting record. He's got 75% votes conservative, and the other 25% he votes liberal. What are we doing? That's our speaker, bro? No. I need somebody that votes 100%. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, everybody's not going to vote 100%. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like Thomas Massey. Like people be like, Thomas Massey is a rhino because he's dead. He's not going to vote for Mike Johnson. His Liberty score, his conservative rating is 96%. Compare that 96% to 75%. I mean, that's a very stark difference. Who's really a conservative? Who's really Republican in that case? If that's the standard that we're holding people to, is your voting record, which is how we should be judging people that are already in office. It's not like he's some guy that came out the street. He's been in office. We can see his record. We can see the votes that he's made. What are we doing? So whether you like him, love him, or hate him, or whatever the case is, I'm just laying out the case for him. He is now the new speaker for the new Congress. So that is a fact, Jack. Now, check this out. Spuds says, what do you say, Spuds? If they actually read the Constitution, they would find themselves supporting the very opposite of what they desire. You know, it's very interesting when we have those type of conversations because a lot of people have not read the Constitution. And that's why I actually give out constitutional books. I give out little, pocket-sized constitutions. I got a ton of them around here somewhere. I give them out all the time. I also give out Bibles. That's very important to me. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're here about politics, okay? Not that there's a big distinction, but we'll talk about that later. Check this out.
The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
we'll fart hard for the freedom to vote, according to Hakeem Jeffries. I just wanted to play that to lighten some of the very serious nature of what we've been talking about. Now, check this out right here. I'm going to show you a couple of clips, and we're going to talk about them really very quickly and back and forth. I don't know, bro. That looks very chummy to me. I don't like it. I don't like it. It don't look good to me. I don't like that at all. They look very buddy-buddy. And I don't want anybody that's Republican allegedly, that buddy-buddy with none of them. And you'll say, well, they need working later for that. Our continued appeasement of these far leftists is the reason why our country is disintegrating right now. Terrible policies and policies that have been maneuvered, manipulated, and pushed through by so-called bipartisanship, because we should be bipartisan. Lies. Nobody wants bipartisanship. You think the Democrats want bipartisanship? No, they want their agenda passed. I want something that's a conservative Republican agenda passed. I want the government shrunk. I want taxes lowered. I want the government out of my business. I want the Patriot Act to be rescinded, which none of them have been talking about rescinding the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act needs to be rescinded on day one, Republicans. Why aren't you talking about that? Massive surveillance over the American population, okay? Unconstitutional raids on people's houses and surveillance and stuff. Madness, okay? But there ain't nobody saying about that. Nobody's championing about that. What's up? What's up? What's up, Republicans? Where you at? Talk to me now. I'm listening, okay? Anyway, I love, like I said, I'm a Republican through and through, hardcore constitutional conservative, okay? If y'all not constitutional, I'm not with it. So check this out. I'm going to show you something from Hakeem Jeffries, and we're going to have a conversation about this. Please share. Please hit the hearts, hit the likes, hit the thumbs up. Drop some comments. You drop a comment, we will put it up on the screen. Just don't say nothing too crazy, especially even if it's just like a heart or an emoji or something. Check this out.
Our position is that it is not acceptable to cut Social Security, cut Medicare, cut Medicaid, cut veterans' benefits, or cut nutritional assistance from children and families in order to pay for massive tax breaks for billionaires and wealthy corporations. House Democrat.
So I live in New York State. He's talking about them cutting Medicaid and stuff like that. My state is almost 100% everything the Democrats want to do. They can do without even having to consult the Republicans because they have a supermajority, right? So they've cut Medicaid here. What are we talking about? And then people want to say, oh, well, the Democrats care about the people. Where? Show it to me. They're cutting Medicaid here. How do they do that? They care so much. You understand what I'm saying? You got Hakeem Jeffries talking about, oh, well, you shouldn't cut food programs for needy kids. You shouldn't cut, first of all, let's talk about that for 2 seconds, okay? Because the food program, which is tied to the agricultural bill, okay, like, you know, SNAP, WIC, all that stuff, that's a Republican program. That's been started by Republicans. So we're not even going to talk about that. But let's continue forward, okay? He mentioned Medicaid and Social Security and all of this stuff. The Democrats have been in charge and they've been cutting them things, bro. They've been cutting them things. The Democrats were the ones that first started to propose to increase the age of retirement. And I'm talking recently, I'm not talking previously like they did. They did it. Okay? Can we have those conversations? Nobody wants to have those conversations. But these are important conversations. They're saying, oh, the Republicans this, the Republicans that. When you know you've been not only talking about it, you've been doing it. Do you guys know, and this is going to be shocking to some of you, January 1st, because of what the Democrats have done, the medical companies have raised the cost of 250 medications. Yeah, you'll see it on your bills coming up soon with some of your medications, you guys. Because of what the Democrats have done, they raised the price of 250 different medications. That's what's going on. Do they talk about that? No. Do they talk about the fact that they raided the Social Security Trust and now we ain't got no money to pay nobody? Question mark. Did they tell you about that? Did the Democrats tell you that they did that? No. They don't tell you what they're actually doing, and then they try to make the other people sound as if there's something bad because they're considering doing this or that. I haven't heard any Republicans say that. The only thing I've heard from Trump and Mike Johnson, again, not the biggest fan of Mike Johnson, okay, but all I've heard them say is they're not cutting Social Security. They're not changing the Social Security age. They're not trying to cut Medicare, Medicaid. And that's all they've been saying. But the Democrats are like, yeah, they're doing it. But you actually did it. You've done it, baby. What are you talking about? Stop trying to put what you already did on somebody else. This is not 1984, the book. This is not the chocolate rations, dude. You're not going to tell us one thing that's another thing because you said that you did something before and now it's something different. The American people might not be that on the ball, but we're not retarded, bro. Not as a whole. Some individuals are. But this is what they're trying to convince us is going on. And a lot of people are buying into this. But where was this zeal to do all of that, to make sure that Social Security was all fully furnished and Medicaid and Medicare was all good and they had all the funding that they needed, all the money when you were in power? You didn't say a lick of spit. Matter of fact, you were stealing from both of them to spend on your own funding programs, like those stupid EV credits. Don't get me started. You guys like, share, subscribe. We're going to make sure that we pop up a couple more videos because we got a couple more important things to talk about. Drop some comments. Thank you, Spuds and Sayo for commenting. Who else commented? We see you out there. We'll pop up your comments. Definitely share this and get this out. This is another thing we got to talk about. Again, the Democrats continue to game the people. And when they were in power, they didn't say boo about the things that they're talking about now. I'm going to pop this up and check this out. It's retarded. I can't even.
Names of the representatives from the Americas, Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia were not called, representing collectively 4 million Americans. Mr. Speaker, collectively the largest per capita of veterans in this country.
Does the gentlelady have a parliamentary inquiry?
I asked why they were not called. Have some respect. It's not going to take.
Gentlelady is recognized.
I asked why they were not called from the parliamentarian, please.
Delegates-elect and the resident commissioner-elect are not qualified to vote. Representatives-elect are the only individuals qualified to vote in the election of a speaker. As provided in Section 36 of the House Rules and Manual, the speaker is elected by a majority of the members-elect voting by surname.
This body and this nation has a territories and a colonies problem. What was supposed to be temporary has now effectively become permanent. We must do something about this problem so that these 4 million. But I have a voice. And
daggone dog and pony show in there. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, now we're going to grandstand. Oh, America, Samoa, and Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands need to be able to vote. Really? Where was that energy when the Democrats were in power? 4 years, Kamala and Biden been in the White House. I ain't heard a lick of nothing. Nothing. Ain't nobody said the word boo about the Virgin Islands or Guam or nobody. Ain't nobody said nothing. The only things I did hear about was them trying to push to make D.C. a state because they want them votes, okay? And then Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico got a new Republican governor, okay? The first one in a long time after them Democrats been stealing out there real hard. And that's not me being some type of way. That's actually what's been happening. Please go look into what's been being done to Puerto Rico by the Democrats down there. The corruption is beyond belief, okay? Especially what's happened during the hurricanes where they've stolen all the aid and just completely neglected the people and not even handed out the aid that they've been given. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. There have been offers to fix the energy grid down there and the Democrats have denied it. It's all terrible on the island. God bless Puerto Rico, okay? They just had a serious power outage the other day. Almost everybody lost power on the island. It's insane. And this is all under Democrat rule. But you see this lady up there talking about, oh, well, why weren't the territories able to vote? Because they ain't never been able to vote? Like, this isn't new news. Like, I have not one time heard the Democrats advocate for the Virgin Islands ever in the history of me being alive. Maybe they have, I haven't heard it, because they don't really care. And then she's like, we've got a territories and a colonies problem. More territories, more colonies. I'm completely for Imperial America. You got some stuff twisted here. I think we need to go bring the Philippines back into the fold because we did them dirty the first time. Philippines, please forgive us. The way we treated you wasn't good. Come back home. We love you. Come on, Philippines. Come on back home. We'll make you a full statehood. Come on back, Philippines. We love y'all. Okay? But I don't care what she on there about. We got a colonies and a territory problem. More territories. Panama, we're coming for you. I just heard Honduras popping some smack last night. Okay, Honduras, we will Nicaragua yourself. Better recognize. Who the heck you think you're talking to, Honduras? Honduras out there popping that flag. I wish I had the video of the president lady from Honduras. Honduras mad because they talking about, oh, well, we're gonna eject all the illegal aliens here that are from all these countries, and Honduras know that they got a whole bunch of people that are here, and they're like, you better not send us our people back. You sound dumb. You're getting all your people back and then some. And if you really feel raw about it, we will Noriega you. Okay? If it was up to me, we'd take them over. That's tomorrow. I'm just saying. I still support buying Belize and buying Guatemala. And that's where I stand on that. And I don't change on that because we need them for, especially Belize. Belize is really good. We can just easily buy them cheaply. And not because they're cheap, but because they honestly don't have a large per capita or GDP. And it would be better to have military bases there and stations there and whatever, because it would actually benefit the Americas as far as territory, but also because of resources and military bases. China is very active down there, especially in Honduras. Especially in Panama. That's why Trump has talked about going back and taking the Panama Canal back, because China is running it right now. And that's a really, really, really serious thing. But she's out here talking about, oh, well, America has, how come we can't vote because we're territories? Well, that's a good question. Why aren't you states yet? Let's have an actual conversation about that. I think that that is a fine conversation. I don't believe that DC should be a state, because it never should be a state, because it wasn't founded to be a state. It's an administrative district, and that's the way it was set up. Okay, it's very, very clear how DC was set up. And that's, hey, move to Virginia or Maryland. Okay, you know, but the Democrats want that for votes. They don't want it to empower the people. They don't empower the people that are living there right now. I just told you the crap that was happening in Puerto Rico. Now imagine what's going on in the Virgin Islands. Don't get me started there. I've got a lot to say about what's going on in the Virgin Islands. We're not going to jump into that today. But it shows you the grandstanding and the complete lies and deceit that the Democrats continue to push out there with all of these false, what would you say? False anger, right? Like, they're not really angry over these things. Biden and Kamala have been president for 4 years. Have you heard the Democrats once say, oh, well, let's talk about making Virgin Islands a state? Never, never, never. You heard Hakeem Jeffries talk about making the Virgin Islands a state? Never, never, never. Are we being serious right now? This is very, very, very serious. And maybe she is just doesn't know, right? Like, honestly, maybe she doesn't know that territories aren't able to vote. But I doubt it. Okay, I doubt it. You know, and I know her friends there backing her up. Okay, know better. So they're just playing in the American people's faces, and they're trying to ferment anger against Republicans and stuff like that. And that ain't even got nothing to do with Republicans. Okay, that's the way that the Constitution is. You mad at the Constitution? What you gonna do about that? You ain't make a move to try to get them to vote to be into a state. I've never even heard of the Virgin Islands making a vote to become a state. I've never heard of a referendum for that. I've never heard of anything like that. Maybe it's happened. I haven't heard about that, and that would be a very large part of the problem. But for 4 years, they ain't had nothing to say. Nothing at all. Now, please, you guys, make sure you share this out. Make sure you comment. We'll try to put your comments up as much as we can. Definitely hit the heart button, hit the like button. Every single share helps. Every comment helps the algorithm. And if you can, please donate. Check out the donation in the ticker. You can do Cash App, $MWReal1. That's $MWReal, the digit 1. Or you can do givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. We also have Venmo or PayPal. You can do @Marcus C. Williams on either of those. Anything you can donate, whether it's $5 or $10, everything helps. Every little bit helps us do more shows, get more information out to more people, and start encouraging the very serious conversations we need to have. Please do donate so we can get better equipment and do some upgrades that we need so we can be more consistent and get better stuff out to you. So as we continue here, there is so much going on, and we've got the new administration incoming. I'd like to talk about the government efficiency. We were just talking about how the spending is crazy. And now we've got this new Department of Government Efficiency, right? DOGE, you know, that Elon Musk and Vic are working on. We done added a whole nother administrative office to the government to talk about we're going to shrink the government. Man, I'm not happy about that. So they better have up some real great suggestions that are coming up. There's actually a DOGE caucus now in the House of Representatives. We'll see what happens, man. Everything is play and a spit in the eye of the American people, man. If they really wanted to shrink the government would be shrunk, okay? But it's up to the American people to hold them accountable for what they're doing and for what they're not doing. Now, check out this video from Piers Morgan and Lauren Boebert with her new hairstyle. I guess she got single and now she's feeling herself, okay? It's interesting.
To save our country. I'm excited for the DOGE commission that was created. Now, Piers, it's a little frustrating to me at times to have this DOGE commission, but I'm so excited to have Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk heading it up because they are powerful voices in America. And it's frustrating because, you know, having this oversight and accountability and looking into the spending of tax dollars and all of these federal agencies, well, we used to call that Congress. But apparently, since Congress isn't doing that, we need
I agree. I think Elon and Vivek are
So, but she's right. It used to be Congress. But you've been in Congress where it's been at? Nowhere. Like, and this is the problem with our government. They're not really representing the people. So it's up to us to hold them accountable. Nobody's going to do it for us. Nobody's coming to save us. It is 100% up to us, 100% up to us. Nobody's coming to do anything for us. And it's very clear. How do they say? If they wanted to, they would. I'm just saying. Now, a couple of things I want to get to before we get out of here is make sure you share and make sure you hit the like button, drop some comments. We got to check out this. This is a video that came out yesterday after the raid on the home of the New Orleans bomber, who also was a member of the military. And I believe he said he was in intelligence. It's very interesting. We're not going to talk about it, but we will in a second. But they raided his home, and then all of a sudden, news reporter was able to traipse in through the house, no crime scene, nobody present, and the news reporter just got in there magically. You can't even get in the same in a regular crime scene the same day on most homes, especially not in a situation for like a serious offense. But you got into the house that a supposed terrorist was in and that they raided? The FBI and the sheriff and everybody raided? Does that make sense to you guys? This is all I'm saying. The things ain't thinging. Check this video out and tell me what you think in the comments.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here.
Who's stupid? Who is stupid? You believe that nonsense? You think that the FBI during a terrorist investigation where they haven't let out all the details yet? Exactly. How did she get it? Thank you. So, who's that? Sayo. Thank you so much. It's crazy. How did she get it? They just let her in and then traipse about, and they're still not looking and collecting evidence. Come on, y'all. Come on. We are being played as the American people. They out here playing in our face. Don't let these people play in our face, y'all. They lying to us. Tell me what you think in the comments. Drop a comment what you think about this news reporter being able to be in the house where they raided for the alleged terrorists. Make it make sense. Like, I mean, I know Americans ain't that slick, but we ain't that dumb. We ain't dumb. Like that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Spuds, I see you. You commented on the delegate from the Virgin Islands. I see you. Yeah, it's really jacked up. They don't know nothing about nothing, and it's very crazy. But back to the terrorist guy. You see that video, bro? Y'all see that? My people, the American people. Do you believe that they just let this lady traipse in? They just let a reporter in there, just clean and clear. The day after a terrorist bombing, they let somebody that's a reporter in the site. Did you see any FBI agents? Did you see any police? Did you see anybody in there with them? Can you believe, honestly, that they just let her in there? I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Okay? You'd have to be beyond high to believe that they just let that lady in there. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane to even contemplate that they would let her in there like that. So very, very clearly, they're up to something. They're trying to cultivate a faulty narrative and we should not be buying it. Check out the donation thing in the bottom. Donate, Cash App, $MWReal1, or you can do givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. We also on Venmo and PayPal at Marcus C. Williams. So you guys, this is crazy, but this is what's going on in our country right now at this time. They're clearly manipulating us. They're clearly setting us up for something else that's going on, and they want to dissuade us from what's really actually happening. This is serious, and we need to have these serious conversations. That's why it's ever so important that you share these videos out. Share them out everywhere you can with your friends, your family, the people you don't even like, the people that disagree with you, especially them. Let them hear it too. They need to hear it probably more than other people. Hit the hearts, hit the likes. Everything that you do helps kick the algorithm. And please drop some more comments because every comment helps the algorithm. And I'll do my best to pop up your comments. Now, this video that I'm about to show you was played yesterday during the Super Bowl And we're going to have not the Super Bowl, but the Sugar Bowl. We're going to have a conversation about it afterward. Check this out.
Welcome to the All-State Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust, and accept people's imperfections and differences. Together, we win.
So I don't know, you call that what you want, you call it propaganda, you call it something nice, you call it something nasty, but apparently this guy's been getting some blowback. I didn't see anything wrong with what he said. What he said seemed pretty all right to me. We have turned down into a place of very serious divisiveness, as I showed you those ladies and that guy earlier on in the show, in this show. But this shows you right here that this man is saying, oh, well, we need to be more thoughtful of each other. We need to be more understanding of one another. And we need to stop so much division and divisiveness. And they've been dragging this man online for it. You know, that's why, not to compare him to Jesus, but remember, Jesus said, peace, peace, peace. Let me show you the way to our Father in heaven, you know, and they killed that man for it. So, I mean, hey, man, this is crazy. Like, people are mad at him over that. I don't get it. But this is the state of our nation right now. To reiterate and follow up and get ready to wrap this together for you. The government's up to no good. They don't have your best interests at heart. They do not care about the American citizens. We are all being played. I love my country dearly. We are all being played. I love my country dearly, but it's very clear that our intelligence agencies are moving against the American people to cultivate some sort of a narrative, whatever it may be, that seems to be something that they're going to use to put more fear into the hearts of Americans so that they can gain more power, more money from Congress, more authority, while stripping away your liberties and freedoms. You guys, I love you all. Make sure you share this out, drop some comments, hit the heart, hit the like. We'll catch you soon. And remember, subscribe, because a lot of you watch but aren't subscribed. Subscribe and follow. You guys be blessed, be well, and remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. I'll catch you later.